In a recent stream, Reynad gave us a little more info on upcoming Bazaar things, while opening a bunch of pots and lamps with Mira, which he got from Turkey while visiting an actual bazaar. Long story short, the full stream is linked below, but if you're just looking for the juicy Bazaar bits, then you're in the right place for a quick update. So let's jump in on what I can only assume the most of you want to hear. When is the Bazaar releasing? Unfortunately, I still don't have an exact date for you. I'll give you that the second I have it. However, there is good news. Reynad said it will be coming sooner than we think. But not so soon that he wants to give us a date. As you'll hear in the next exciting bit of news, and as we hinted in our last Bazaar video, there is a new big update video coming from Reynad and Co. in early March. So it won't be in the next couple of months that the Bazaar actually gets released, that's for sure. However, from the way Reynad said that it was coming in 2021 and sooner than we think, makes me think that it almost definitely won't be in Q4 either. So we're looking at summer maybe. I wish I could give you more, but that'll have to come soon. Next up we have more information on the coming new build. Firstly, Reynad should have it in his hands on the 25th of February. They'll spend a week tweaking and recording, and then we should get the resulting long gameplay video in the first week of March. Reynad didn't go into the specifics of exactly what we'll see in this build, only that there was a lot more, and even more polished than the last version. If I were to hazard a guess, I'd say we're going to get more than the two sort of classes or heroes this time around, more cards, more merchants, etc, just more of everything, as well as a few of the things we were hoping they would fix. The things I was really looking out for here are the new mechanics for actually winning the game, replacing this gem mechanic that we discussed in our previous video, as well as the animations, which last time were all queued up and were very basic. This does lead me quite nicely into talking about some of the general changes that Reynad hinted at though. Specifically a number of changes with regards to streaming the Bazaar. Reynad himself, if you don't happen to know, used to be a big time streamer. So when looking at a game, he can't help but think of how it would be streamed, what it would look and feel like for the viewers, but also the streamer themselves. In his opinion, this is a huge oversight by many games, and one that he thinks Blizzard lucked out on with regards to Hearthstone. The streamer experience. In current games like Magic Arena, and even with Artifact, you are constantly given something to do to keep the player engaged. But as a streamer, this is almost detrimental, as you have no time to build your relationship with chat. Hearthstone was good to stream because for an entire turn, there was nothing you could do. Even your traps triggered themselves. The Bazaar will aim to meet in the middle. While turns are largely played at the same time, you can do things at your own pace, which were his words and not mine. Just like Hearthstone and Auto Battlers, there's some sort of rope mechanic, so I wonder if we will see what Reynad meant by this in March, this sort of own pace of his. However, there will be the combat phase, and one benefit of an Auto Battler is you can sit back, hands off the keyboard, and interact with chat while you watch the magic happen, which is a real bonus for streamers. What about the all-important viewer experience? What will make the Bazaar really pop? Well, if you recall from our last video, one of our primary concerns was the basic card attack animation, and how utterly boring that would get. Well, not only has Reynad confirmed that that will not be a problem, but they have gone above and beyond to fix it. He uses a fireball as an example. Now I doubt the game will have a fireball as an actual card, but some of the cards might have a fireball-like effect. The Bazaar will have dynamic VFX for its cards, which means, in this sort of fireball example, that the fireball card will have its cool little animation when played, shoot a little fireball at the enemy, grand, but if you upgrade the card, the visual effect will also be upgraded. Now he references this as the fireball getting bigger, which to me thinks you're upgrading it to do more damage. But what happens if you upgrade it so that it splits its damage into 3 instances and does slightly more? Do we get 3 fireballs? What happens if you change it to be faster? Do the fireballs zip across the screen much more quickly? Do we change the colour of the fireball with some upgrades? The possibilities go on and on, you see the effect here. This is such a nice little touch to add to the game, to make your choices feel more impactful, as well as keep the visuals of the game more interesting for viewers. Later into the stream, Reynad also dropped some added information, which wasn't vital to the game, so I thought I'd save it for after all the juicy stuff. If the juicy stuff is all you came for, thanks for dropping by. Please do like and subscribe, etc. Do all the good shit below. Cheers. Anyway, the other bits. Something as a potential content creator for the game which gave me hope was Reynad suggesting some big partnerships were on the horizon, and that he saw these himself as a great vote of confidence by some very valuable and informed sources as to the future success of this game, which naturally is something we all want for the Bazaar. But if the experts think it too, then that's great. He also mentioned that he really wants to look into cameos. The examples he gave were mostly of streamers who could play merchants, but also some famous voice actors or regular actors were in the list as well. He wants to fill his game with a beautiful cast of colourful characters, and why not throw some cameos in there? What streamer or influencer wouldn't want to give up a couple of hours of their life to be immortalised in a game like this? Finally, we get on to the pots. The moment you've all been waiting for. Why the hell did Reynad buy some pots? Well, as fun as Turkish ceramic unboxing stream is, this was for a number of sets they're building. The room he was actually unboxing in, and potentially the entire floor of their house, building, whatever, I'm not entirely sure the building they were actually in, but that entire floor could potentially become a series of production sets for filming real-life content around the Bazaar. Now, this could be akin to gaming shows we see in other games. The most prominent that comes to my mind is This Week in Gwent, or Twig, the updates from Gwent, where they had a little sort of like tavern setup, where they would just give you updates on the game. So we would get updates on the Bazaar game from what looks like a Bazaar. But Reynad kept bringing us back to this idea of lore content. So perhaps he does really mean to give us a fleshed out world, and attempt to truly bring us into this intergalactic Bazaar. Also, he likes his long hair. Get used to it, that's all chat would talk about. We think it's pretty glorious. You do you, Reynad. From soonish release dates to streamer first design, VFX, pots, and more, the Bazaar is our beacon for hope for a new and engaging strategy game in 2021. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and maybe, just maybe, even subscribe. It really helps us out and tells me you want to see more of these. When you're done with that, YouTube thinks you might like the video on the left, and I've put one on the right which you might like. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.